I'm meteorologist John Marshall. Good afternoon. First full day of spring, and most of us have some snow falling. And we're starting to get into the brunt of the storm, and obviously there's been a couple of changes. Number one, what we've been looking at is the storm is not as intense as the computer models suggested yesterday evening, and through early this morning. I took a look at the surface observations from some buoys, and what we're looking at is a satellite picture of the visible satellite picture. And here is New Jersey, Long Island. The storm is located right now, about 150 miles east of the Delaware coast. Not as intense as it was progged to be. That's the reason why it hasn't been raining and or snowing where you are too heavily, although it's picking up now. But take a look at the spin in the atmosphere. All of these clouds, the upper level energy, still going to pivot around and catch up with this storm. So I still expect a blossoming of precipitation. I know along the central New Jersey coast, you basically have nothing. And obviously that wasn't expected. The precipitation has been lighter and it has been warmer because of that reason. It's not bringing down the cold air from the upper levels of the atmosphere. When it does snow heavy enough, the temperatures do cool down. So all in all, let's take a look at the radar, and this is time stamped for about between 2 and 2:20 on your Wednesday afternoon. And again, take a look at the areas of green. That is the rain. Still spitting some rain if it's not snowing along the central New Jersey coastline down through South Jersey. Parts of Long Island still dealing with a bit of rain, but back to the west. The I-95 corridor beginning to snow pretty good now. So everything is beginning to gel over here throughout the eastern portion of the mid-Atlantic states, including the New York City tri-state area, obviously where we are. So expect these bands of blue, the heavier, deeper blues, to continue. And what that means is it'll snow at times moderate to heavy. Now, everybody's like, oh, the roads aren't snow covered. Well, no. First of all, it hasn't been snowing heavy enough to do that. Second of all, we've been talking about that March sun angle so high in the sky, that the actual warmth of the sun, even though it's snowing, is coming down and hitting that pavement. It's grabbing that heat. That's why it's not sticking to the roadways. Sticking to the grassy and colder surfaces, especially on the northern side of your house where the sun is not reaching that section of your shaded area of your house. I know it's technical, but that's where you need to measure the snow if you want to go out there and measure the snow. Again, it's going to snow for the next several hours, and I'd like to break this down for you. What can we expect? Through the afternoon into the evening, periods of snow. It may quit for a while. Still a bit of mix and light precipitation along the central New Jersey coast. You're going to go over to some snow, but we've lowered the amounts for you, and we'll show you that, the updated snowfall amounts momentarily. Brunt of the storm through late evening. Okay? Not as intense nor'easter as was once expected. Folks, that's great news. We're not going to see as many trees down or power outages or severe coastal flooding. Okay? Wide range in snow amounts. 25 million people live in the viewing area. Okay, this is a late March snowstorm for some, and obviously accumulations are problematic, especially once we get into the spring and that March sun angle. Okay? Wind gusts 30 to 45 miles an hour mainly at the coast, and then the snow will taper off from southwest or western suburbs around 10, 11 o'clock until, let's say, near sunrise or just before over eastern Long Island, because that storm is going to sit and stall for several hours around dinner time. Let's see how much snow gets thrown back into the system. Again, we're looking at the radar right now, and you can see lots of deeper shades of blue still to get through. Again, streets mainly slushy or blacktop showing, typical of late March snowstorms. I like the text you guys have been giving me. Thank you. Having a fun time with that. Here's our revised updated snowfall amounts now. And you can see I did bring them down due to the fact that the storm is a little weaker, and meaning not as much heavy precipitation in a widespread area. A general 5 to 10 inches of snow. For the majority of the area, folks, on the colder surfaces. I can't emphasize that enough. Okay? Most areas will be closer to the 5 unless those bands of snow set up, and then you're going to be by 10. A couple areas, higher elevations, they get into that heavier snow band, we'll see more than 10 inches, a few isolated spots. So instead of the 6 to 12, I brought it down to 5 to 10. That's the thinking. Also, the Jersey coast. I'm not confident about the 1 to 5 or the 5 to 10. You're going to get some, but it's close call. due to the fact that I think the energy is going to pivot around. You may get into a steadier, heavier snow. So coastal Monmouth, parts of Ocean County, I have you in the 1 to 5, but it could be just a tad more if the heavier snow band sits. Farther to the north, there's a sharp cutoff. I got a call from a text or Facebook, whatever message, from Dutchess County. Not a flake. And that's why we're going much lower amounts up the Mid-Hudson Valley, as expected. Again, these March storms are very tricky. You can go to my radar and my site at www.johnmarshallweather.com, and you can see the radar there, and I'm going to update the 5-day forecast as soon as I get done with this live stream. That is also going to YouTube Live. So I'm streaming to 2 places live, Facebook and YouTube, and I've been updating some software, so if there are some audio glitches, pardon those. And the meteorological glitches, well, folks, I'm just the messenger. You know, I never try to hype these things. That's not the way I do it for weather, and you guys know that. So I never expected this incredible amount of snow, but we do revise the forecast. We're in a nowcast situation, meaning we're watching the radar. This is what we're expecting by later tonight on the colder surfaces. You guys have a great afternoon and evening, and we'll see you soon.